Yeah. And so we're going to talk about some meditation techniques that can help with this whole idea. And so this comes from I talked a little bit last couple of weeks about Maitri, which is also known as metta. And so it's interesting. I've been studying Buddhism for like over a dozen years. I've never heard of this concept before. And I think it's because this specific concept of Maitri comes from the Theravada branch of Buddhism. And the tradition I was trained in is the Mahayana branch, which the Mahayana branch is much more widespread and it shares a lot of terminology and concepts with Hinduism and Vedanta. So it's much more kind of well known throughout the world. But there's this little lesser known Theravada branch of Buddhism. And they have their kind of own different language about all this stuff, which is kind of interesting. But they have a different vocabulary and some different concepts. And one of these is this Maitri concept that I never heard of before. And it's been really helpful for me because it's kind of been the missing piece that I haven't had in my own spiritual development. This idea of accepting ourselves. I think when I was studying with my teacher, I always had an idea that I wasn't doing enough. That right, if I could only be more disciplined in my thoughts and disciplined in my practice, then I could then I'd be a better student. And so there was always a lot of self judgment in my practice, and even though they talked about accepting ourselves, but I don't know, there wasn't as much emphasis as comes from this Maitri idea. So it's been really influential on me recently. That's why I've been talking about it a lot. And there's a really great book I've been reading called Loving Kindness by Sharon Salzberg. And she talks a lot about these ideas. And so there's a meditation we can do. It kind of goes in stages. And the first one is to focus on yourself. So we'll start, we can do this in our next meditation. And it's focused on accepting ourselves and finding that love in our own hearts. And so it's usually done by picking 4 phrases. The common ones are usually some variation of may I be safe, may I be happy, may I be healthy, and may I be at ease. And so there's no right or wrong. You can use those or tailor them to your own personal needs, whatever you feel like you need in your life or in your heart to you feel happier or feel more safe, feel more content. So you can either use those 4, or you can alter them to specific phrases that resonate more with you. But the idea is basically just to, while you meditate, repeat those 4 phrases over and over while you're focusing on your heart to help build that feeling of safety and comfort and in your love. Oh, that Carla, looks like you just posted. Is that some of the ones you know? The meta phrases? Yeah. Yeah, and there's all kinds of variations. You can Google it and get more ideas if you want. But there's no wrong answer, no right answer. Whatever phrases work for you to help engender that feeling of love for yourself. So the idea is you first start just meditating on your own heart to build love. And then once you start feeling that love for yourself, then you move on to meditating for someone in your life that you like, that you have a good relationship, someone who's a positive influence in your life, and try to wish for their happiness and their safety and their healthiness. And then when you feel that for this for a friend of yours, then you move to a neutral person, someone that you don't have strong feelings either for or against, just someone you kind of know. So you can focus on that person and wish for their happiness and health and love. And then when you start feeling that, when you start feeling compassion for the neutral person, then you move on to someone that you don't like. In the text, you call it the enemy, right? Someone that you have very strong negative feelings for, someone who is a challenge to wish for their happiness. But the idea is when you start by feeling that happiness in yourself and then progress through these people that's easier to feel happy, other people who it's easier to feel happy with, the idea is finally you get to where you can hold an image of someone in your mind that you have strong negative feelings for and actually wish for their happiness. And that's where it becomes a really transformational practice, because then you really start to feel compassion and feel love for these other people out, enemies out there, people that have opposing that values from you, or people that act in ways that disturb you. Then you can move on to wishing this for the entire world, which including all of the people that you have strong negative feelings for. So that's a way to kind of cultivate this feeling of first love for yourself, because that has to be first, right? You have to feel that strong love for yourself and be secure in feeling love before you can try to share it with someone that you actively don't like. Right? So let's try that now. Let's try this first meditation of just focusing on our own hearts, our own happiness.